The sands of Egypt whispered tales of oppression, carrying the weight of centuries of suffering. The Israelites, once welcomed guests in this ancient land, found themselves enslaved and oppressed. They toiled under the harsh Egyptian sun, their backs bent and spirits weary from relentless labor. Their cries for freedom echoed unanswered across the barren desert, a haunting reminder of their plight. Among these people of faith lived two remarkable women, Shiphrah and Puah, whose courage would soon be tested. These women were midwives, entrusted with the sacred duty of bringing life into the world, even in the darkest of times. Little did they know, they were about to face a test of faith and bravery, unlike any other they had ever encountered. The plight of the Israelites weighed heavily on their hearts, filling their days with sorrow and their nights with worry. Each cry of a newborn baby was a poignant reminder of their people's suffering and the hope for a better future. They clung to the promises of God, whispering fervent prayers for deliverance and holding on to their faith. Hope flickered like a fragile flame in the darkness of their captivity, a beacon of light in their endless night. The Egyptians, threatened by the growing number of Israelites, viewed them with increasing suspicion and fear. Fear took root in the heart of the Pharaoh, the ruler of Egypt, as he saw the potential threat to his power. He saw the Israelites not as people deserving of respect, but as a growing threat to his authority and control. This fear would soon give rise to a cruel and heartless decree, one that would change the lives of the Israelites forever. Pharaoh's fear festered, twisting into something monstrous. He convinced himself that the Israelites posed a threat to the very existence of Egypt. He resolved to take drastic measures. His solution? Genocide. He would extinguish the Israelite people by snuffing out their future, their children. Pharaoh summoned Shiphrah and Puah to his grand palace. The air crackled with tension. The midwives stood before the most powerful man in Egypt, their hearts pounding in their chests. Their worst fears were about to be confirmed. Pharaoh, with cold indifference, issued a chilling command. Every Hebrew boy born was to be killed at birth. The girls, he reasoned, posed no threat. They could be spared to grow up as slaves. This horrific decree sent a shiver of horror down the midwives' spines. This was not simply a matter of following orders. This was a direct assault on God's most precious gift, life itself. Shiphrah and Puah were caught in a terrifying predicament. Their very faith was about to be tested. Shiphrah and Puah left Pharaoh's presence, their minds reeling. The weight of his words hung heavily in the air, a dark cloud over their thoughts. How could they possibly carry out such a barbaric act? The very thought of it was repulsive, a betrayal of everything they stood for. How could they betray their people, their God, and their own consciences? The conflict within them was palpable, a storm of emotions. They were midwives, women who brought life into the world, not heralds of death. Their hands were meant to cradle new life, not snuff it out. The weight of the world seemed to rest on their shoulders. Every decision, every action felt monumental. Yet, in the face of this impossible choice, something remarkable happened. A spark of resolve ignited within them. Their fear was replaced by an even stronger emotion, faith. A faith that gave them the strength to stand firm. They knew in their hearts that they could not, would not, obey Pharaoh's inhumane order. Their defiance was born out of love and duty. They made a pact, a silent vow to each other and to God. They would defy Pharaoh. Together, they would stand against the tide. They would protect the innocent. They would choose life. Their mission was clear, their purpose unwavering. This was not a decision made lightly. Every moment was filled with the gravity of their choice. They knew the risks, the potential consequences of their defiance. The danger was real, the stakes incredibly high. Yet their faith fueled their courage. It was a beacon in the darkness, guiding their steps. They understood that their allegiance was not to Pharaoh, but to a higher power, a power that called them to protect and nurture life. They would trust in God's protection and do what they knew to be right. With hearts full of faith and courage, they moved forward, ready to face whatever came next. Shiphrah and Puah returned to their duties. They continued to attend to the Hebrew women, assisting them in childbirth, whispering prayers for their babies and for their people. But they carried a heavy secret. They disobeyed Pharaoh's direct orders, allowing the Hebrew boys to live. Every cry of a newborn baby was a victory, a small act of rebellion against tyranny. Each life saved was a testament to their unwavering faith, but their defiance could not remain secret forever. Pharaoh, ever suspicious, grew impatient. He summoned the two midwives back to the palace. His face, contorted with rage, demanded an explanation. "Why have you disobeyed my command? Why are the Hebrew boys still alive?" he thundered. The moment of truth had arrived. The midwives stood before Pharaoh, their hearts racing. They knew their lives hung in the balance. Yet even in the face of Pharaoh's fury, their faith did not waver. They were ready with their answer, an answer that required not only courage but also wit. Shiphrah and Puah looked at Pharaoh, their faces calm and composed. They knew that a direct confrontation would be futile. They needed a different approach, one that would appease Pharaoh while staying true to their conscience. Then inspiration struck. "O king, live forever," Shiphrah began, her voice respectful yet firm. "We are but humble midwives. We are not like the Egyptian women. The Hebrew women are different. They are strong and vigorous. Before we even arrived, they have already given birth." Pharaoh, used to getting his way, found their explanation plausible. He was, after all, a man, and knew little about the intricacies of childbirth. He accepted their explanation, unaware that he had been cleverly outmaneuvered by two courageous women. Their quick thinking and cleverness had saved their lives and, more importantly, the lives of countless Hebrew boys. They left the palace that day with their hearts full of gratitude. God had protected them and used them as instruments of his divine plan. Word of Pharaoh's decree and the midwives' defiance spread throughout the land. The Israelites, though living under the yoke of oppression, found hope in the courageous actions of these two women. They whispered their names with reverence, their faith strengthened by their example. Shiphrah and Puah continued their work, their hearts filled with quiet defiance. They knew that their actions were making a difference, that they were playing a crucial role in God's plan. They were protecting not just babies, but the future of their people. Their story is a powerful reminder that God works in mysterious ways. He often chooses the most unlikely heroes to accomplish his purposes. Shiphrah and Puah, two ordinary women, were thrust into extraordinary circumstances. They could have easily succumbed to fear and obeyed Pharaoh's command. But they chose a different path, a path paved with faith and courage. Their story is a testament to the truth that God is with those who stand up for what is right, even when it seems impossible. The story of Shiphrah and Puah did not end with their defiance of Pharaoh. Their bravery was just the beginning of a much larger narrative that would unfold over time. Their courage had far-reaching consequences, rippling through history in ways they could never have imagined. They had unknowingly played a crucial role in preserving the lineage that would one day bring forth Moses, the deliverer of Israel. This single act of defiance set the stage for a series of divine interventions. Moses, born into a time of great peril, was saved from Pharaoh's decree by a series of miraculous events. Each event was a testament to the unseen hand of providence guiding his destiny. His very existence was a testament to the bravery of Shiphrah and Puah. Without their initial act of courage, the story of Moses might have been very different. Their unwavering faith had set in motion a chain of events that would ultimately lead to the liberation of the Israelites. This liberation was not just a physical escape but a spiritual journey towards a promised future. Their story is a powerful reminder that our actions have consequences, both seen and unseen. Every choice we make can have a profound impact on the world around us. We may never fully comprehend the impact of our choices, but we can be certain that God can use even the smallest acts of courage to achieve his purposes. In the grand tapestry of life, every thread matters. The legacy of Shiphrah and Puah lives on, inspiring generations to come. Their story is a beacon of hope and a call to action for all who hear it. They are shining examples of what it means to stand up for what is right, even in the face of overwhelming opposition. Their courage continues to resonate, teaching us the value of integrity and faith. Their story echoes through the ages, reminding us that with faith in God, even the seemingly powerless can make a difference. It is a timeless testament to the enduring power of courage and faith. The story of Shiphrah and Puah offers timeless lessons for us all. They teach us the importance of courage, the value of life, and the power of faith. Their lives stand as a testament to the truth that God honors those who honor him. Firstly, Shiphrah and Puah exemplify courage. They faced a terrifying choice: obey a tyrant or defy him and risk their lives. They chose the latter, driven by their conscience and their faith in God. Their story reminds us that true courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to do what is right, even when it is difficult. Secondly, Shiphrah and Puah remind us of the inherent value of every human life. They refuse to participate in Pharaoh's genocidal plan because they recognize that every child, regardless of their ethnicity or circumstance, is a precious gift from God. Their story challenges us to be defenders of the vulnerable and champions for the sanctity of life. Finally, the story of Shiphrah and Puah underscores the power of faith. They faced seemingly insurmountable odds, yet they never lost their trust in God. They believed that He was with them and that He would honor their obedience. Their story encourages us to hold fast to our faith even in the midst of trials, knowing that God is faithful and will never forsake us. The story of Shiphrah and Puah is not confined to the pages of history. It is a living testament to the power of courage, the sanctity of life, and the faithfulness of God. May their story inspire us to live lives of purpose, to stand up for what is right, and to trust in the God who is always with us.